All right, can I call the meeting to order at 6:07? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mark,
Roll call.
I have to do the meeting started before I can do roll call. I'm asking to see, are you okay? You're okay with starting the meeting?
Okay, I'm okay to start the meeting.
All right. All right, so now I'm going to go through the piece now. Today is July 20th, and the time is 6:08 p.m. And we are open the Recreation Committee meeting as preliminary matter. This is Mike Volpone, Chair of the Recreation Committee. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Board members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. David Brohl, not here yet. David Dempsey, not here yet. Celine Muldowney.
Affirmed.
Mark Sand.
Here, confirmed.
And Alicia Greco is excused. Employees, reps, or other town attendees, if you wish, when I call your name, please. Anticipated guests or speakers, please respond in the affirmative. Jason DeRoches.
I'm here.
And Stefano, are you here?
My name is Mike Bencourt. I'm the director at North Shore, so I'm filling in for Stefano.
Mike, can you spell your last name, please?
Bettencourt.
Okay.
Yep.
Mark, did you get all that?
Yep.
Okay. Good evening. Today is again 6:09 p.m. on an opening meeting of the Newbury Recreation Committee, which is being conducted remotely consistent with the Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020. Due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, Governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have the meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of the public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so as long as a reasonable public access is afforded so the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting, the Newbury Recreation Committee is convening by video conference via Zoom as posted on the Recreation Committee agenda, which can be found on the Recreation Committee page on the town's website. The agenda identifies how the public may join the meeting. This agenda can also be accessed from the website's homepage by clicking on the box that says agendas at the top of the news box. Please note that this meeting is being recorded, and for some attendees are participated by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and then take care not to screen share your computer unless you're requested to do so by me. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Materials were provided to the board committee members prior to the meetings for anything review. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for the effective and clear conduct of our business to ensure accurate meeting minutes. For any discussion items, I, the chair, will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called further. Everyone other than board members, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please use earbuds, earphones with tablet, cell phone. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. Take care not to screen share. Just screen share your device. For any responses, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. Board members will be called upon first in name of an alphabetical order to ease the process. If board members wish to engage in colloquy with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. That's the opening salvo that I have to read. Now, onto the agenda. All right. So, we call the meeting to order. Members are present. Reading of previous minutes. I've read both of them and I'm good with them. Celine, Mark, you have any comments?
Nope.
Do I hear a motion to accept both sets from June 1st and June 30th as stated?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as written for both previous dates mentioned.
Celine, do you want to second that?
Second it, yep.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Celine?
actually, wait a minute. The only
Okay.
question I had with both of those is I think David Dempsey was on both of those meetings.
David Dempsey, the last meeting was at the fire station being sworn in.
The one before that he was on, wasn't he?
He wasn't here for the first one. He was here for the second one. I think he came in. No, he didn't make
No.
either one of them because the one on the
Okay,
6th,
all right, I
on the
stand
1st, he was
corrected.
getting
No
sworn in.
worries.
And the 30th, he wasn't able to call because he texted me last minute saying he was tied up.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry, let's do that
Okay.
again.
Celine, do you approve the meetings as minutes as
Yes.
done? Mark?
I approve.
All right,
Yeah.
so move. Correspondence. Celine, do you have anything other than the bill you sent to DiFilippo for 100 and change?
Yep, just that one bill. Yep.
Okay. Mark, do you have anything on your end?
Not really. No.
I have, and it's going to be brought up during later, just to let you know, we have two applications, one from Coach Mo from Sync Soccer, who wants a field from 9 to 12 and 2 to 3 until the end of August, Monday through Thursday. And then he's looking for a time on Sundays, September and October from 12 to 4, which we're going to have to discuss, but he has an application filled out and will pay once, as soon as until it's available. So we're going to have to discuss that with the other two groups or how we're going to look at it. And then I've also received a application from, how's it, I put the thing, Bootaloo Yoga Studios. They're looking for 2 to 3 days each week for an hour each time. They provided 5 different times. I think to avoid any conflict, we could give them field 5A and do they're allowing us to set the schedule so we can do a Wednesday 8 to 9 in the morning, Thursday 5:30 to 6:30 at night, and Saturday 8 to 9 in the morning, giving some flexibility to people for days, nights, and a Saturday. We'll discuss that other thing, but they're asking for our information that we'd be charging $15 an hour for the session, which is equivalent to what they're charging in other towns, and they agreed to that number. They're hoping to have it for about 20 people. But again, we'll get into more on that. But those are the 2 applications I received, along with Jason's application for summer, which I received this morning. And we'll discuss that during business as well. Any other bills and claims, Celine, or was that it?
That was it.
Okay, all right. Old business, this is where I wish David was here because he was nice enough to provide us an estimate from a company that was over in Amesbury, but I'd like to get a little bit more clarification on it.
He should be coming.
Okay, then I'm gonna table that until he arrives, just so we can get an idea. The online calendar websites assistance from the town, I have not heard back from Susan yet, so I have to get back with her to see what we can do. But regarding the applications that I've received, I've started looking at them, and I've asked Jason to pop in tonight just to make sure we're okay. And Mike's here from Rush, so we can get all that resolved and then discuss the situation on Sunday from 12 to 4 for the other group as well, see if we can somehow coincide all this starting in the fall.
2
Yes.
points of clarification. There is on the rec committee, I stumbled upon a calendar for the rec committee online already. And Mike, could you send me the copy of those applications so I can collate them?
Yep. I'll send those right after this meeting.
Is it the same kind of calendar than like when there's a town hall meeting or something like that? Or is it an hourly calendar that people can?
It's not an hour. Well, I haven't fully explored it. I just stumbled
Okay.
across it tonight. I'd never seen it before when I went to, I think it was Newbury Rec Committee calendar. This showed up, which I hadn't seen before.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on the website right now and I'm state of charge, guidelines, committee members. there's a calendar over, it says Recreation Committee calendar, but it doesn't say, it just has our meeting scheduled for it.
Because there's
That's
nothing
good.
else for her to put in.
Yeah. But I don't know if that's what they were looking at, so I will ask Susan if that could be, we could,
I think that's the same, like if you go to every other site,
they all have it, yes.
they all have the same calendar. I think it's a
Yep.
little different than what we need. There's David.
David, welcome to the meeting.
He's muted.
I know, he's gonna unmute himself and get himself settled. It's like looking, he's got the thing literally on the desk and it's looking straight up. David, you're still muted.
There we go. We good?
Okay.
Now we got volume.
Sorry, I am very sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Let me give you a second here to this thing out of it.
Why are you doing that? I'm gonna,
Okay, go ahead.
we tabled you got something in front of your screen that's, okay, now it's better. I don't know if it's a
Just
thumb or
thumb.
what. I'm texting David Dempsey real quick, joining us tonight. All right. I shouldn't have to keep checking calendars and stuff, but David, you were nice enough to put together some information for us regarding the basketball court.
Yes. So,
I'm very interested in it.
so I had a conversation with this guy that does a lot. I've called a couple people. One guy said, can't do it. I'm straight out for the rest of the year. And I said, you know, how about later on? And he has not got back to me. The individual I talked to originally about this, he got back to me and we had a couple conversations about it. And what he said was, let me do this 1 second here.
Did everybody get David's form?
What he said was that
Yes.
he would, is that better? Am I on again?
Yeah, I don't, all we see is your name. We don't see you.
Okay. So what he said was that the price, he said he's done a lot of municipalities, and so the cost of them just goes up exorbitantly when you are working for a municipality because you have to pay the prevailing wage. He suggested a couple things. The first one was saying that some towns get around it by having them, same company, do the 4 phases. One, the land leveling. 2, putting in the pad. 3, putting in the 4 steps basically, and to stretch out over that.
The court and the hoops.
Yeah, but then I had a conversation with Alicia, and she said, nope, we can't get around by doing that. And she said, what you got to do is you just got to take and put the price, just, you're going to have to put out a bid for it. And she wanted to have someone do it from start to finish. And I think we discussed this before, not doing it piecemeal, like having the town do bits, so that there's someone that we always go back to, where, there's someone to go back to say, yeah, there's a crack in the foundation or whatever, come back and fix it. So he gave us that price, and basically it's all high-end stuff. It's the best, it's the adult basketball hoops. It is,
$2,800 a hoop. That's
yeah. And so I think just my conversations with him, he didn't want to show his cards. He said that, here's the deal. I can go through and I can tell you what I think. I can give you all these prices, but it turns out that when the bid comes out, someone may just underbid me. And so, which I totally understand. It's like, give us a price, and he says, okay, I can do it for, 130. And then, because it's public knowledge, someone will say, hey, I know that Joe Schmo is going to do it for 130. So essentially, I believe we should be able to get a bunch of people of course, we went through this with the field house, but we should be able to get a bunch of people to bid on it. And Alicia said that if you feel that someone, like, let's say that his price comes in, like let's say we have $110,000 to play around with, or whatever, or 90, or whatever we come up with. And his price comes in at 110 and someone else comes in at 90. She said that you could pick who you think has more experience and it's going to do a better job, versus someone that we don't know as much.
We don't have to go with the cheapest person.
No.
You
If we
go
can
by
come
the
up with a
best
reason
value.
why, you know what I mean?
Mark?
So,
The phrase we
yeah.
typically use is the best value for the money. Because somebody could come in and put in a very inappropriate pole for the basketball hoop that would break in a year, as opposed to one that's standard. So it's not necessarily the lowest price, it's the best value for the dollar, which is incumbent on us to know what some of these items would cost and the life expectancy of them.
Yeah. And so I think with our, whoever, I don't know if we present to the town what we want for a bid and how we put out that bid, but we should be able to be in control and say, and this is what we want. We want 4 inches of concrete base. We want the field leveled. We want, adult hoops of this quality, so that, we're not getting stuff that's substandard.
Well, typically what has happened when you put out an RFP, and Tracy would help us with that, is we'd have to develop a scope of services, outlining precisely what we want, like you said, the minimum amount of concrete, the PSI for the concrete, any of the details that could affect the quality of the project. And then she would use the better terms than we have, timelines and such as that. And then she puts it out there. For this amount, it's going to be a sealed bid. Of course, prevailing wage laws have to be included. It can come under, it can go over. And usually on something like this, there's a clause saying we have a right to reject any and all bids. So if they come in under and we look at it and say, I just don't think this person's never done it before, and they come in with a $60,000 bid, we may be able to say it's apprehensive and may not be the best value for the taxpayers.
Another question for you is, and Michael, you may have a better idea because I think you talked to Tracy about this. He did not come right out and say it, but did sort of say the fact that there may be some way that we could get a discount if he was able to, put his advertisement of, the field. And I don't know how that works. I know that there's like a whole thing that goes behind putting advertisements up and stuff like that. But he did say that there would be, that there might be a discount for being able to advertise that that his company built the hoops.
Yeah. 1 second before, David, thank you very much for joining us. Are you able to hear everything? Dave Dempsey?
You're muted.
Okay.
Can't hear you
Dave,
talk.
Dave, you got to unmute yourself.
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
I can
No,
hear
we
you, but
can't
we
see
can't
you.
see you.
All right. Now I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can see you.
All right.
I
That's good.
certainly want to get your opinion. I just want to make sure you were clear. What we're going over right now is the basketball hoop and the estimate that David sent out to everybody.
Yep.
And kind of the idea of what's the best way of handling this going forward. I did talk to Tracy and I met with Lisa Mead. There are some things, but we were kind of early in the process, so we need to get together again because there are certain things, parameters we would need to make sure that are clear. So if he wanted to put his name on it, it would have to be, he would have to meet certain guidelines to making sure that it doesn't affect the town by having it there. The size of the sign, the length of the time of the sign. I mean, there's a lot of different parameters we'd have to get with the town on, with Tracy and Lisa.
Yeah, and as far as the research that I've done, and I don't know if it's just COVID time or what, but I contacted the Salem Recreation Committee about that basketball court. I really like that sign in Salem. I contacted them. They said to me that I should talk to DPW. I called DPW, talked to a guy. He took down my information, never got back to me. So I'm still in process of trying to get, I'd like to also get in touch with West Newbury and find out who did their court, even though it was done a while ago. Someone else, I know someone researched the West Newbury court.
I did. I believe the town did it themselves.
Okay. They did a great job, whoever did that.
Frozen?
Huh? What was that?
I don't know who said it.
I think
I
Mark
think it
said
was
something.
Mark. He's frozen.
Yeah, that was a
Okay, there it is.
beautiful. That was a
I'm
beautiful.
pretty sure they did it for 70,000 because they did it in-house within the town.
Okay.
And that was several years ago.
Yep. So again, there's a sports tech out of Beverly. I called them. I got a recommendation. So it wasn't like I was blindly calling them. I called them up and I used someone's name, said, blah, 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 this is what we're looking for. And he goes, I'm straight up for the rest of the year. I can't do it. So then I emailed him again and said, well, it's probably going to take a little bit more than by the end of the year to get this going. But he has not got back to me. So I will scour. This guy that I've talked to, for about a year now, we've been discussing this, is located in Amesbury. So it's a local guy, and he was talking about they're doing courts and repairs in both Peabody and Salem or somewhere even closer. But what he said, because I brought up the whole thing about having the DPW, sort of do steps for us. And he said, this group, whatever town it was, did some preliminary steps for them. And it ended up costing them more money because, they know what they need and how they need to install it. And so they had to redo stuff in order to make it the way it's supposed to. So, yeah. So I'm kind of on Alicia's sort of team with this, saying, let's put it out to bid and have someone do everything, and we just watch it from afar.
I mean, we got to realize we got a budget. It was Mark was saying before. It's kind of like, let's see what we get. If everybody comes out, or we don't think, hopefully, don't get this one like the field house when someone comes in and says we budgeted 200,000 and come back to 229, and it's like, great, we got to come up with another 29 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way God's green earth, $2,800 a hoop that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, if you told me all of that included labor, then I'm like, okay, we're right around the budget we thought.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no. And again, I really think that what he was saying was that he put that out there. Again, the total time that I discussed with him now and before, I kept asking him, well, I need prices. And he never wanted to come up with any specific price because, like I said, I think it shows his cards. So, I think it comes down to us just, coming out and saying, hey, this is what we want. And the good thing about it was that he did, list some things. He asked me about, basketball hoops. I said, yeah, we want adult basketball hoops. And then he put padding in, and, he went through all these things to do. But I do think that whoever we put this out, everything should be written out exactly what we want and what type we want, and then see where the chips will fall. And if we have to beg, if we have to go knocking on bank stores or, come up with another $20,000 or $30,000 somehow, then, we'll have to find a way to do it.
Well, I think one thing, if we're thinking of sending it out to bid, which we should, we're going to have to come up with some really, some real strong specifics.
Yep.
On, what has to be, how we want it, what the size, what the materials, even on the hoops and everything. We're probably going to have to put model numbers down, manufacturers' names. And that's all the legwork on the bid, and then you just send it out. I mean, if we could ever get a company to come in and work with us on a spec sheet and then kind of sit down and go from there and send it out, as far as that goes.
Yeah, that's what he didn't want to do. And he said, I can help you out and I can walk you through these things, and I totally understand it.
he just want to get on a bid. That's the whole thing. He wants a fair chance at it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And he doesn't want to be the guy that walks us through this whole process, and we go
And then
through
loses.
and we ask him this, that, everything else, and he's like, I call him up and say, well, what about this? What about that? And then in the end result, he's done all this work. We've got to, what we want for specifics, and then someone underbids him by, $30,000, and we take that because the town has to take that. So,
Well, the only other thing you could do is we could possibly ask him and talk to him about a figure for a consultant fee and come on as a consultant instead of a contractor. And then as a private consultant, then he can put his bid in through his company or through his corporation.
okay.
And that might work so that he still gets a fee for the consulting fee, and then he can be as competitive as he has to be come the time for bidding.
Okay.
I would run everything through Tracy, because the way I'm hearing it, that's preferential treatment. If he is basically creating the specs for the proposal and then turn around and bid on them, even now there might be concern about his, and again, Dave, I would talk to Tracy about what kind of contacts you have regarding the development and questions of specs for something like this. I know with, say, contracts I have had, I would find a third party, consult with them, who would not bid on a project that. And that'd make it up and up, as opposed to.
Totally understand.
Consult.
Right.
So-
I think you can check with the town on their procurement standards on how they do it. And if there is a conflict of interest on a third party actually consulting and then entering into the bid process, that might be an issue. So what the company might do for us is refer us to a couple of consultants that are specialists in this field that would be able to write the specs, but they won't bid on it, but the companies will.
Okay. And so just another aside to that, one person that I talked to, a recreation committee that is quite larger than we are, I said, I went through and sort of put down, this is what we are thinking about doing and why we want to do it. And he said that there were so many men's leagues that are calling left and right, looking for places to play.
Oh, yeah.
He said that you won't have any problem filling that up. So, obviously COVID is a whole different situation, but I think that in the end result, it's going to be another moneymaker for town. So I'm pretty enthusiastic about everything that I've heard so far, except for I'm a little scared of the price, but it is what it is.
Well, if you're talking 30 grand, it's a lot different than what we projected. And we're gonna have to find ways to pay the money. So hopefully we can, again, you're talking, if we get the hoops for half of what they are, or even $1,500 a pop, you're saving $1,300 each times 6 is 7-8 grand right there. But you're still, if they're talking 30 to put it in, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. Yep. So let's I don't know if the next step is to, have, I don't know, you want me to go and talk to Tracy or someone want to get together and discuss, we would do a subcommittee and come up with, what our parameters are. Obviously we all know that, the field has to be, again, I talked to him about leveling the field, and he said what they do is they take, like if it drops down 3 feet, then what they do is they take 1.5 feet off one side and they added 1.5 feet on the other side. So there's a little bit of drop down on one side, and that's how they level it out. You went through the specifics of this. So should one of us go and, or 2 of us or 3 of us go have a discussion about what we want, and then have one of us go in front of Tracy and say, these are the sort of the building blocks of what we're looking for? Because I think that we're all in agreement. We don't, if that $90,000 is still out there, I don't know how long we can use that, but I don't think any of us want to throw down an asphalt court. Correct?
No,
I would say not. No.
no, we that was our argument to get the money. So
Right.
we need a rubberized court that could do multifaceted pieces to it. So it could do, it'd have the basketball, but it also has the ability to do a pickleball or whatever else we were looking at, so we could do it. And that was the point. Because if not, I go, what are we doing it for? I'd rather give the money back to the town saying, didn't work as what we wanted to, or until we can get it put together.
Right.
Okay.
David, do you mind kind of spearheading this and getting with Tracy and finding out what we can do?
Absolutely.
I think you guys have been in the forefront of this from the beginning. David Broll, your experience with the construction piece, and David Dempsey, your background with the athletic side is huge. So
Yeah.
I think if we get an idea, I mean, and just let us know what we're looking at. We'll try and
Right.
schedule a meeting for 2 or 3 weeks out and see if we can get hopefully something, if not the meeting after. Do you think, let's say, I mean, I know we're talking the next meeting still, but do you think if we schedule 2 or 3 weeks now, you guys think you could have something back from Tracy on a basic process?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that just talking to Dave, and Dave would know what the best hoops are. This guy sort of brought up like, well, you need adult hoops. I don't know, I'm sure that there are 5 different companies that make hoops for,
Right.
municipal basketball hoops. Dave would probably have a better idea of what
Yeah.
exactly, what we
He
need.
provided that
Yeah,
before, so.
I think the best thing to do is for us to zero in on the hoops that we want.
Yep.
And then what we could probably do is purchase them ourselves.
Yep.
And have the company, the bid go out as that the town will purchase the hoops and they'll be on site. And then
Yep.
the installation part will be part of the bid.
Okay.
So that way
Yeah,
we're not paying somebody to buy them and install them and deliver them and do all that stuff. I think we just have to purchase them, have them delivered so that we can guarantee the company that has the bid, and we can give them the model number and the make of all the hoops and the installation, instructions on what's the proper way to install them.
Yeah.
And most of these companies that are doing these basketball courts anyways, they know, and if we can talk to somebody who can refer us to somebody who is a consultant in these areas, they probably have some pretty good specs on some hoops as well.
Okay. So when you say that, do we take some of our $90,000, or do we take money out of our revolving account to buy the hoops and set? How does that work? I mean, should we talk to Tracy about that? What's the?
I think that the 3 phases we should probably talk to Tracy about is, first, do we have money in either our revolving account or our budget to pay a consultant? That's number
It
one.
depends on how much it is. You
Right.
talking $3,000? Yes, I think we could probably do something like that because
Right.
we want to do this right. But if
Yep.
you come back and tell me 10, yeah, I wouldn't want to spend that. That would have to go to revolving, and then we'd have to vote on it in the
Right,
town
yeah.
to get the money.
Yeah, so I think that's the first thing. And I can't see a consultant, charging that kind of money for one court. If they were designing, a multiple court in a high school setting, or, where it's a track and field as well and all that. But I would say that we should be able to get a consultant. I think Dave, if you've got a company that you're working with, and you can say to him, look, we're more than happy to have you become part of the bidding process. But if we also use you as a consultant or use you as helping us write the specs, you possibly eliminate yourself from the potential bidding.
Exactly.
Do you have a consultant or somebody, one of your former, supervisors or foremen that worked on your company that could sit down with us at a consulting fee and give us the specs we need, so that the specs we can submit, so that the company you're talking to also is eligible to bid.
Okay. I'll send out an email and ask him.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and it's funny because you would figure that we're not reinventing the wheel here, but you would figure that someone would, like, I just haven't any luck. Finding, I told you, I talked to someone from Beverly, and he gave me the name of a group, and the guy was like, no, I'm too busy right now.
Yeah.
But the guy from Amesbury was very good, has always been very good about getting back to me. But you would figure that, there'd be more names out there and more groups. But I will do a general call around again to find out, if I can find out some more contractors that do this for a living. And then I'll talk to the guy from Amesbury and ask him if he knows anyone that will consult with us to come up with a spec sheet so we can put it out and not him.
All right. I got one of my former players is a city councilor in Lynn, and
Perfect.
in his ward that he's in, they just installed a couple of years ago a brand new court. So I can give Fred Hogan a call too, or text him
Awesome.
an email. I just saw him 3 or 4 days ago. He was up here, and I, so I'll give him an email, shoot him an email or an instant message, and just say, you guys had the court installed. Do you have any information as far as the company that
great.
installed it and all that stuff, see what we can get
Okay.
from them.
Again, we just gotta get the specifics first, but the sooner we get the RFP done, and then with Tracy and Lisa, if we have to then, I mean, I can certainly talk to Tracy and Lisa about the sponsorship piece or what the guy wants to do, but I'm not gonna get into that until someone comes back, because if we get to the point where we accept a bid, then we can kind of even negotiate if we wanted to, saying,
Right.
could you take $5,000 off if you put your name on the court or the name on the fence or something like that?
There's no
And then-
negotiating once the contract is.
Once the
accepted.
contract's done, yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah.
then we can include that in the RFP, saying if
Right.
it's work something into the piece there then.
Yep.
All right,
And
I'll reach
that-
out to
that-
them and see what we can do.
That will, again, check with Tracy, because if it's
know.
any type of signage would have to be approved by the Board of Selectmen.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a part of the sign. I think, one of the things that you could do is they could have a price that they bid on. And then what they could do is they could, say, as far as that, in part of the bidding process, they can say, well, we won't charge you for the padding. We won't do this as part of their bids, which will help them be more competitive, which will also take the cost burden off of us.
Yeah.
So there's some things they can throw in the bid results at no charge that would be helpful, that makes them more competitive, but also cuts down the cost on us.
Yeah, I was wondering if something like that, and he might have even mentioned that if, like let's say that, the bid comes in and they have it set up for doing 6 hoops, main court and then 2 smaller courts. And then that's what their bid comes in. And then we say, okay, you can put down on one of the grids or 4 grids the name of your company at the same price if you can throw in a pickleball court in that grid, because all those grids are printed, so that's and maybe that, or Central Street Fields or something, maybe that's a way we can do it. I'll talk to Tracy and see if that is good, or if I can talk to her. I don't know, it's hard to get in touch with anyone, so see what happens.
Like I said, let us know what we go with the next meeting, and if you get updates along the way and you want to hit the group,
Yep.
let us know. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Next on the agenda, because I want to get to I think we're going to do the field applications just so I can get Mike and
Jason off the,
Jason off the phone. So I apologize, gentlemen, if you want to join us. So we have, Rush has already done their first week, and their next week is scheduled for August 22nd. Actually, are you guys doing it every week? This is July 13th to August 15th, 3 days a week, 4:30 to 7:30, 5:30 to 7:30, and 4:30 to 7:30. Am I correct in that statement? Mike? Is he back on?
I
Is he
believe
unmuted?
I believe that is correct.
All right, so you guys are doing 8 hours a week for 5 weeks for at $15 an hour for a total of $600. And then I have a week of the 17th to the 22nd. I have 5 days at 6 hours a day.
I
So
believe
that's-
I believe our first week we were trying to run a camp there, but that wasn't approved, so we didn't run a camp that first week. There was a camp in July we were trying to run, but that wasn't approved, so we didn't run a camp that week in Byfield.
Didn't we meet on the 6th? Or we met on June 30th. And they had to have it into us by the 2nd, which we got.
Yes.
I believe
Their first week was supposed to be the 13th. Did you not do anything that week then?
no, we did not.
No.
That was when we were applied as GPS.
Mark, I'm asking him, not you, please.
Oh, hey, Mike. Yeah, so that was when I believe when we first put in the application, that was when we were GPS, but now we're Rush. So when we Stefano sent you, I believe, a different application, but we didn't do anything that first week.
All right, because I'm looking at the application that was sent in from Rush by Stefano that was on that Rush, and I have 7/13 to August 15th, and I have the 3 days a week, and then the last week I have 6 hours a day for the 5 days. So you're telling me that first week, the 13th, you guys did not conduct your
No.
work that week?
Nope.
All right, so now I'm looking at 6 hours or 8 hours times 4 weeks times $15 an hour. I don't have, I'm just trying to do my calculator quick right here. 8 times 4 times 15. So that's $480. And then the last week, you're doing 6 hours for 5 days, which is 30 hours, times the 15 is 450. So for a total of $930. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. The hours aren't a problem. We'll certainly vote on it in a second because it was already, I should say it was already approved.
Yep.
So we're okay there. My question is, are you guys cutting a check for that amount and bring it to the town? Or are you looking for a credit towards the spring?
If we can, I'll have to talk with some of that, but I think you might want to do a credit towards from what the spring was for that.
And so whatever the balance is,
Yes.
we would then apply that to, because it was more, we would apply the balance in towards the fall and you just cut us a check for the difference.
Correct.
Okay. I'm just taking notes. Give me a second. I apologize. All right. So that's yours. Jason. Let me pull up yours real quick. I have, starting the 27th to the 30th, I have you doing 24 hours that week at $6 an hour for 144. And then I have on the 3rd and the 5th, I have 7 hours times that week times 6 is 42. 8:10 and 8:12, I have 7 hours total for 6 is 42. And then I have the week of 8:17 to 8:21. You had a total of $390 is what yours was going to equal out to. And you're going to write a check for that, correct?
That is correct. So,
That has not been mailed in, am I correct?
no, I could drop it off tomorrow. I'll be home. I'll be home tonight, Mike.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Does anybody know if town hall's actually open?
I talked to somebody today. They said that a few of the apartments are in there, but you can't go in. You can slide any information under the doors.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
they told me.
Yeah,
My
'cause-
suggestion, Jason,
Yep.
is give Lindsay a call when you're there,
yep,
and and that way she knows that what I've done in the past is announce my presence. I go in, she can open the door, I hand it to her, and walk away.
okay,
Or you can slide it under the door, however you and Lindsay want to work it.
okay, I could do that.
Okay.
So, Mike, just
Yes, sir.
Go
on the summer application for the week of July 27th, I think it's the 24 hours.
Give me one
I
second. I gotta
may-
pull this back up. Oops,
Yeah.
wrong one.
It's nothing major. I just want everybody to know.
All right. You had sent me in the field and hours breakdown
Yep,
PDF. I see the 727.
Those glasses.
I see 4 days, it's 6 hours a day
yes.
on field one.
Yeah, if you notice, it's like 9 to 3 p.m.
Yep.
If the weather is extremely hot like we've had lately, then I'll probably move it to be the around like 4 to 6 in the evening, so I bypass that midday sun.
Okay, I don't have anybody. The only problem you're gonna run into, if it's just that week, you won't have any problems. There's no one else scheduled in the field at that time on fields 1 or 2, because the other group that I'm gonna be talking about in a minute, I plan on putting them on field 4.
Yep. So that's so no matter what, my hours are gonna be less than the 24 that I put for that week, just so you know. All right.
I wanna know before the 27th, because because then I can use it for something else.
Okay.
Just let us know before, because I'm not gonna do it backwards. If you
No, I
decide
know.
to change it, but
No,
I gotta
no,
reserve the fields.
Yeah, I'm still gonna pay the check for the full amount.
Oh,
It
then I'm
just-
not worried about that then.
I'm
You
gonna
want to
pay
do
the
that?
check for the full amount. I just want to, if it's gonna be a very hot week, I'd rather do it while the sun's going down rather than at the peak sun. For the
Jason,
load.
in that case, that is not a problem because
That's
we
all.
don't have a problem. As long as you're using just the one field, I'm not worried about it because there's no other conflicts on field one that week.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. That takes care of those two groups in the summer. The other one, as I was saying, is, guys, I'll get to the fall schedule in a second. I got to get through the summer first. Sphinx Soccer is looking at time. Can I lose it again? They are looking at 9 to 3, Monday through Thursday. If I put them on, and they're looking to start as soon as we approve it, which I'm going to email him tomorrow, which means he probably could start next Monday.
Michael,
That's- Go ahead.
in the future, could you send that? Because two things, but first and foremost, as a visual learner, I'm just hearing numbers being shouted out,
Okay.
so I can see what is being asked.
I thought I sent that out to everybody, but I'll confirm it if I didn't. But so right now we're on the week of the 20th. So if Sphinx Soccer wants to go with it starting next week, and we put them on field 4 where there is a vacancy, and we had them there from 9 to 3 following the guidelines that they need to, that would not conflict with either Triton Youth Soccer or Rush during the time frame they're looking at for the summer. Does anybody see a problem with that?
How many days a week is this?
4 days a week,
Monday through Thursday.
Monday through Thursday for 6 hours, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And the date again, July?
It would be starting July 27th. And it would go through, I'm going to give them until the end of the 21st because that's what the other guys are doing at this point. I don't want to go the following week because I don't think anybody knows quite yet what we have for school and what's going on yet.
Yeah, Mike, what about rain days?
In regards to if the rain happens during those days,
Yeah.
No refunds.
no refunds.
No refunds.
Okay. Yep.
I mean, I would love to say I can't project it, and that's what we're
Yeah.
looking at.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a retail group. They'll be charged a $15 rate, which is the same as what Rush is paying. So 9 times 6. So what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. So I'm on the field 6 times 5 days is 30 times $15 an hour. Is that right?
$1,500.
6 hours times 5 days a week equals 30. Times 4 weeks is 120. Times $15 an hour is $1,800 is what I'd be looking to check for them for.
So
Feel
is this a new group or is this a new?
They were here for a short period of time for a couple of weeks last summer.
Okay.
Around the other groups. This is the first time we're actually going to have them both on the field at the same time.
Is it going to be a possibility for more people for the fall?
They're asking for fall time. They're looking at, would also like an 11-11 field for fall on Sundays during September and October from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Awesome.
But again, I got to see the first 2 applications that came in were Triton Youth Soccer and Triton and Rush. So I got to see if they have availability. I haven't got to that point of looking at the calendar yet to see.
Okay, cool.
So do I hear, okay, I make a motion to accept allowing Sphinx Soccer between July 27th and August 21st, allowed to use field 4 from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for a total fee of $1,800, which is 30 hours a week times 4 weeks times $15 an hour. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Now we can talk about it. I can do the formal part first. It doesn't affect, I was looking to make sure it didn't affect the other 2 groups.
Did they put an application in or
Yes.
just to you or to Lindsay?
They sent it to me,
Okay.
and I'm gonna send it right now to the whole group so you guys will have it. Oop, wrong one. It's got their core reforms and their insurance. COVID procedures, I should say.
Go let her know that I'm on a meeting over here. So she can charge it.
Dave, just be careful, we can hear you. I
Me?
just wrote it, so, yeah.
Oh, that's right,
You
we're being
can-
recorded.
Yeah, you can mute yourself on that if you need to, because I've done it already too, so.
All right.
Any discussion on this? All those in favor? Celine?
One question.
Oh, good.
Do they fall under the guidelines of Mass Youth Soccer?
They're a Sphinx Soccer out of Boston, Massachusetts, LLC. I don't know if that means, Mark.
Question for Michael.
LLC is just limited liability corporation. I'm just asking because the organizations that fall under Mass Youth Soccer have very specific protocols that they are required to follow. They go to both recreational and club teams.
So that's a question for Michael. Are you still on the line?
No, Michael is Rush.
No, what he's asking Michael, or I don't know if you were trying to just get an idea for our background is what I think you were asking Celine.
No, no.
Okay.
Never
Yeah, I
mind.
think the bottom line is that it, like all these groups have their own guidelines, but the bottom guideline is the state's guidelines. They're the ultimate factor. So, if people want to make more stringent guidelines, I think our town is going by what the state guidelines are. Correct?
Yes, the town can only enforce what this town or what the state mandates. However, if you are playing under the auspices of Mass Youth Soccer, they have their own regulations that are more stringent, which is why they're allowed to play now.
Yeah.
And I want to make
He's
sure
using-
that if people see a group that are not following mass youth guidelines, that we are aware of which group it is. Does that make sense?
In the email I sent you guys, they have COVID operating plan. They're using phase 2. They're not using phase 3.
Okay.
At least based on what's sitting here. That may change in the fall, but they're asking for the summer. That's what they put here, so.
Yeah, I think that the chief of police said that if there's an issue, then they will talk to whoever is not following what the guidelines are. So from what I've seen from different organizations so far, I think that the rules are very bendable. That would be my thought.
Well,
I'm not saying that I think that the state guidelines are very specific, but I think some of the youth sports that I've seen driving around probably maybe not as tight as what the state mandates, but
are you referring to not wearing masks? Are you referring to not to scrimmaging, which I think they're actually allowed now to do?
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about soccer. I'm just talking about other things I've seen going on. But I think that.
Dave, we lost you for a second. Yeah, there you're back.
Yeah, sorry, someone was calling me. Yeah, so I think that the bottom line is if someone complains, then the police, we can't be the judge, jury, and executioner. I don't know. I don't know how anyone else feels about that.
Well, I think a simple question to them, are they, under the Massachusetts soccer, the soccer association, but I don't, as long as they're following the state guidelines, I don't know if it matters what organization they're playing under or who, what's their jurisdiction association. So I think if they're following the state guidelines, I think if it was a private group that came in, they'd still have to follow the the state guidelines. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, exactly. I think that's the bottom line, is what the state mandates.
right, right. You know, I agree. Some of the youth organizations are going a little bit above and beyond the state for their own protections. I know my daughter owns a cheerleading gym, and they've gone way beyond what the state's mandated for them. So just because they want parents to feel safe and kids to feel safe. So, you know, I think but the state is the minimal, you know, guideline. So.
Okay. Any other discussion? I'll call the vote. Celine,
Yes.
David Dempsey,
Yes.
David Brohl,
Yes.
Mark Sand.
Yes.
I will notify them that they have the time available during that time frame. They'll have field 4 during those hours. All right. Part of it was also stalling factor because I was seeing if I could work this in. Jason and Michael, I presume you guys have done your normal, regarding the fall, I presume you've done your workout schedule-wise for the fields?
We have, Michael.
The only thing I was looking at was field 4. I think we're okay. I thought I saw a conflict. I think I actually can fit the other team into field 3 on Sundays because Michael, am I correct in saying you have field 1, 2, and 4 on Sunday, where Jason, you are not doing Sunday soccer. Am I correct?
Correct. Can I ask you a quick question, Michael?
Sure.
So fall application and spring application for Stefano and I are always different. And that's because of lacrosse. Is lacrosse planning on doing a fall season or are they not?
We haven't
I
heard
have not
from
heard
them.
anything. Haven't heard from them at all. Mark, have you heard anything that you're aware of, or because you have a
Not
connection?
that I'm aware of.
Okay.
All right. So,
So it looks like it's just you two that you had your original schedule. And
yeah,
then it's just a question of seeing if I could get the other team in on field 3 on Sundays. Am I correct in looking at this, that is not a conflict? Because I've seen,
we don't, for the fall, we don't play
I'm
on.
only talking the fall. We're not
I
talking
know
spring.
that. Yeah, no, I know that. In the fall, we don't play on Sundays. In the spring, we play on Sundays. So
Okay,
for the
again.
fall, no issue.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is
Now,
go ahead.
the issue that comes into play is the painting of the field.
The
Because
painting.
painting,
Okay.
putting the lines on the field,
Yeah.
because a 11v11 field is a different size than a 9v9 field. And I think I had it set up for the field 3 to be a 9v9 field.
They may have to find a way to make it work.
So are you thinking about making two sets of lines on the same field? Because you can do them in different colors. You could line a field in white and then line
Yep.
another field in yellow.
Exactly. You certainly can.
Yep.
Because usually we do field 1 and field 3 as 9v9 and fields 1 and 4 or fields 2 and 4 as 11v11.
So,
I can't, the way this
Jason-
is scheduled, I don't have the room for it. On the other, for 11-11, I can't, you already taken the field, so I'm trying to find a way to make 3 work so we can have
Yeah.
everybody
And
happy.
again, different color lines.
Yep.
So can you just, I'm novice with this. What are the difference? I have no idea. Just real quickly.
The size of the fields,
Size.
So is
Yep.
it just for like a different age group and stuff like that?
it is.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. I had no idea what you guys were talking about. So thank you.
For youth soccer, there's 3 different size fields.
Okay.
So for me, for Triton Youth Soccer, we have 3 different size fields.
Yep.
7v7, 7 versus 7.
Yep.
9v9, 11v11.
Okay, cool.
Club soccer only deals with the 2 bigger size fields, 9v9 and 11v11.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
I had a question for for Mike, on the schedule, you have field 1, you have a half a field, or is that, I'm not quite sure what the indication is. Mike, do you know?
You're
On the-
referring to me or Mike Betancourt?
Well, it's both of you.
Mike Betancourt, go ahead first.
If it's on the field, normally how we, for like training and stuff like that, was normally the full field, I believe.
Because the field's not designed to be cut, I'm not pricing it for a half a field. So if you only want to
Okay.
use it, that's your call.
Yeah, no,
But you're
we've
taking
always,
up a full field.
yeah, correct.
Because if not, we look at 5A and 5B, but you guys, that's already been allocated to train youth soccer, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Do either of you see these hours changing?
Michael, for me, the only way the hours would change is if ECYSA says that there's no season.
Okay.
That's the
Which
same.
again, we would do the same thing as we did in the spring.
Yep.
If you guys pay for it and we find out that the season's stopped, then it would just, we'd either issue the back the check at that point because the season wouldn't have started, and just leave the credit sitting there from the other one. So as soon as we can get back.
Yeah, so for us, Triton Youth Soccer, the application that we put in, it's really all or nothing, and it's based upon ECYSA. We
Okay.
hope to be out on the field.
Yeah, the same thing goes for Rush with the club season as well. It all depends on what happens. I know in the next couple of days, our fall schedule will kind of go live, so we'll have a better understanding of what we'll need for Sunday play as well.
Okay.
And Michael and the board, just so you guys know, I know with a lot of the calls I've been on with ECYSA, where historically there's been like back-to-back games, let's say from like 9 to 10, 10 to 11, so 2 games on this, after each other on the same field. The talk that ECYSA wants to do is to have like a half-hour gap between games to allow parents to leave the first game and have 15 minutes for the new parents to enter the game. So there's no overlap.
Hey, go lay
of
down.
parents crossing paths to go to the same
Gibson.
field.
Gibson, go lay down.
Dave, you're on mute. You're on speaker again.
So that has no difference to our application, but it kind of lets you know we kind of built that in because that's what ECYSA wants to do to safeguard the parents and the kids.
Smart move. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate the information and your sensitivity to the situation.
So
I really hope, I'm the first one to say I really hope soccer plays. I hope sports plays in the fall. I think the kids could use it big time. I just trying to stay as positive as I can based on what I've been hearing. So I do not have a problem with either one of these schedules, and also fitting in Sphinx into Sundays 12 to 4 for September and October. If they want November, they're going to have to ask for it. If it changes anything different, I will let you guys know. But in the application, they did ask for those hours as well. So I'm going to set a motion to approve the fall schedules listed for Triton Youth Soccer, for Rush North Shore, and for Sphinx Soccer, using the hours that are scheduled. There are no overlaps, there are no conflicts. That does take up the field from 9 to 7:30 every day. Pretty much. Oh, see, I take that back. 9 to 8 p.m. on Sundays, 5, I can't read if that's 5, it looks like 5 to 7:30 or 4:30 to 7:30 for the different fields. But so we're booked for the fall if this all goes through October.
Was that still a motion, Mike?
Yes, do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Celine? You're on mute. I didn't hear you. Sorry.
That's fine. You didn't hear my second before. Yes.
David Brohl?
Yes.
David Dempsey?
Yes.
Mark Sand?
Yes.
Gentlemen, your schedules are approved. Just keep us in the loop on what's going on, and thank you for your help with all of this. We
Thank you, guys.
We would like nothing better to see you guys playing this fall.
Could I ask just one quick question?
No, you're out of time.
Oh, God.
Sorry, I got to break up the monotony of that one a little bit. Go ahead.
So my only question is, if we have a fall season, is where Sphinx's teams that they're playing and Rush's teams that we're playing are traveling all over New England. How will we handle cancellations, field cancellations, and will we get enough time to just notify our teams that are traveling that a game's been canceled due to like rain or muddy field conditions?
We will do the best we can and put it on the website. So make sure you guys are both, and I'll let Sphinx know as well to make sure that you're attached to the notifications. We'll do the best we can.
Awesome. That's all I need
Mike,
to know. Thank you.
Yes, Mark.
In years past, some representative from one of the soccer organizations would
Yeah.
walk the field Saturday morning, Sunday morning, usually by 6 o'clock, assess the fields. And then they would notify the different teams that either the game's on or not. And I think that's a prudent way to continue.
I agree. I think that's a very
And
good,
then
because
if-
unfortunately I can't.
Yeah,
Well, like I said, usually in years past during the game days, Saturday and Sunday, a representative from a soccer organization would do it. It was Greg McDonough years back, and that way they know the conditions. Again, they have a vested interest in the care of that field, so they would not necessarily want to use it when they could end up losing it for the rest of the year and pay financial remuneration for the repair of the field. I suggest that we continue with the current methodology of determining the use of the field and leave it to the users to end up determining it.
Gentlemen,
do you have a problem with that?
I do, just for, I think we had problems last year where I think that we went on the field ourselves and said they're beating the hell out of the fields and we put a stop to it. I ran into someone during that period of time and, that you could see there were some major holes in certain areas. And a woman came up to me and said, well, I'm in charge of opening and closing the fields. And I was thinking to myself, I didn't get that memo. And I understand what you're saying, Mark. Do we want to leave that? I don't know. Do we want to leave that up to someone other than a rec committee or a town official? I will go with what the group says, but I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't have the availability to check the fields that are in the morning because of work. But I certainly can get on the website and send the notification out if we get it.
So
regarding the fields, usually the fall can handle, because the grasses are starting to go dormant, can handle a little bit more wear and tear than the spring when the new root systems are taking place. And that's why this spring, James is a lot more cautious about opening the fields for use and for the season, not necessarily for the day. Again, during the summer, fall, it can take a little bit more wear. We are in years past, we've only had the two groups, so there was the fields weren't being used. Usually there's one field that was being rested because lacrosse wasn't there. But I would leave it up to the people who are using it, and if they overburden it, then it's their fiscal responsibility to pay us, and it may end up losing that field for the remainder of the season.
Other comments?
Celine, you're locked. I mean, you're muted.
In years past, they've always done a pretty good job. I think if we just kind of check up on them
Okay,
every now and then, I think we'll be okay.
sounds good.
And then if it's abused, we'll just, that's part of the handbook, then just get shut down.
so
None of us have the wherewithal to physically go there and manage the fields.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to say as far as, how they do things, if they move from one field to another or whatever, but I just,
Well, you can't. If it's scheduled out, you can't just shift fields, you
Yeah,
have
I
to
don't
double
know.
check.
I don't know. I guess if that's okay with the town, then I guess it's okay with me.
And then we'll certainly entertain input from James.
Jason and Mike Betancourt, your thoughts?
Just real quickly, so town has Saturday, town has the Saturday games. I do have two people that are responsible for making sure that the fields are playable. So David, I believe you might have been in contact with one of those two. So I
So-
apologize.
No, I had no idea who they were. It just that at that point, I think the fields were pretty bad, and I think we went out, and I think that they agreed with it too. But I just, as long as everyone else, I don't know how it works as far as logistically, if that's if the town is good with that, you know.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. If the users make the decision whether the field should be shut down, then if it gets screwed up, then that's the way it is. So it works.
Yeah, so for just two quick comments, because I know you guys want to move on. For town, we need to notify ECYSA by 7. So that means we have to be on the fields, walking the fields by 6:30. That's why
Yep.
they kind of share the responsibility. I would be happy to provide you with their names and numbers as well as mine, or you
Cool.
could have mine as a contact person if there's any issues on your end. And if there's a person that they could contact to close the fields or to give, for you, then just let me know as well.
I think Mike posts it on the town website,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm the only one with access to it, so.
all right. So if there's
Not
any,
this out of the office. Yeah.
so if we need to contact somebody on the rec committee regarding the fields, we contact you.
Michael.
Yeah, send me an email as soon as you can.
Yep,
I'll check by 7 o'clock that morning if I can, and I'll just jump on and shut the field off.
yep. And then I will, after this call, tomorrow perhaps, I'll send you the contact of the two people that will be notifying me of the field status, and I will let you guys know of their names so you could contact them or just come right to me.
Cool.
Okay,
All right?
thank you.
Awesome.
Any other last minute comments? Are we okay with the fall schedule? We still in discussion. Mark cut us off before I got a chance to get his vote. So far, Shalene, Dave, and Dave have approved this. Mark, you're next on the list. You stopped us before we got to your vote.
Yes.
All right. So the applications for the fall have been approved for Triton Youth Soccer, for Rush North Shore, and for Sphinx Soccer. And I will update Sphinx after this meeting.
So are the bathrooms going to be open for that? Or no, because of COVID?
I
I
would say
think we're gonna need to
right
touch
now.
base with the town to find out what
I
they're
will-
allowing. Could you,
I will
Mark?
follow up with the Department of Public Health. There are bathrooms, and this sounds like a sidebar, but it's related. They do supply bathrooms down at Plum Island. Reds is supplying those. I did ask at the last meeting whether we should look into it with the question of, are we going to be open? It would increase our cleaning budget.
Substantially. I already
Well-
checked with
Oh,
Tracy.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, okay.
So it'll
Then if we
probably
can't,
end
we
up,
can't.
it'll probably be, well, it'll most likely be at Monday through Friday at the end of the day. So they'd be clean for 3 hours, which is not uncommon. And then twice or 3 times on the weekend. So
So-
like,
3 hours a day?
No, at the end of
No.
a 3-hour days, which he's
like
referring to.
Oh,
every
okay.
3 hours, it gets, looking at what other places are doing, places of business, about every 3 hours. So if we're using it from 4 in the afternoon to 5 or so at 7 at night, on average, we can get away with 1 every night, Monday through Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, it would be like at noon, at 3, and then at the end of the day, something like that. Maybe you have to be increased. I will check to confirm.
Just so you're aware, I talked to Tracy about this. It's $75 a time that they come out there. So when I was looking at this, granted, I was doing it quick on the back of the napkin type of math, but $75 a day, 5 days a week is $375. Then if you're doing $75 3 times twice, you're talking another $450. So now you're talking about $800 $850 a week. That's $3,200 a month times September, October, November, give or take the weeks in there. You're probably talking
10 grand.
10 grand for the fall. Not even talking about the spring yet.
But
Hopefully
you
we
know
don't
what?
have to worry about it.
But Mark, you said on Plum Island they have bathrooms. They don't have any bathrooms over here. They have Jiffy John's and the restaurants.
That's what I'm saying. They have Red's porta
Right.
potties.
Right.
So who's responsible for cleaning that, Reds?
Yes.
Okay, so
All right,
that might be,
frozen.
unfortunately, we might be back at porta potties again.
Yeah, because even the restaurants on Plum Island, you can't have any public restrooms. So they're even closed to customers. So the only restrooms that I know of that are over here are the porta potties.
That's what I meant. The porta potties at
Okay.
the park.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I apologize. I thought you meant the field house, Mark. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Okay.
But at the field, if we had the field house, it may be some. Again, I'm looking at the officials or families that are there at the field house at Mantor Field for the day with 2 or 3 kids playing. If we don't open it up Monday through Friday, maybe we open it up on Saturday and Sunday, so that what we built years ago, it gets to be used.
Oh, and that's the key thing. We want to have that available. But again, if we were doing it 5-7 days a week in the multiple times, it's,
Yeah. That's why
we would
that's why I
go
said
broke
just
before we
I
could do
don't think
anything.
you're gonna have families there that are there all day, every day like they used to be. It's just not
Okay.
the reality right
Right.
now. I hope it comes back to that. But
Mark, if you would check with the Department of Health just to see what they're looking at. I like the idea that you brought up about possibly not during the week and having the weekends, because then if we have to do it twice, it's $150 a day, $300 a week. Okay, now we're back to $1,200 a month. I mean, nothing crazy. It's more than we're spending now, but at least we're in the ballpark.
I'm just thinking of some of the officials who will be there doing
Yeah.
3-4 games. It's a long time to go.
It's just a
we'll
question
have
of the-
something for them. It just might not be the field house.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
again,
the
I
other
don't know
thing.
what the,
One at a time, guys, one at a time. Mark, go ahead.
I don't know who cleans the porta potties and who's responsible for doing those on a regular basis. Dave, do you know who does that on Plum Island?
Yeah, Reds does it now. They come I see them every morning, early in the morning. They come probably between 6:30 and 7 and give them a changing and a cleaning, new chemicals, toilet paper. But even opening the clubhouse for the officials and families, I don't think we're going to be able to do that under the COVID-19 phase 3 regulations.
Well, that's why Mark's going to check on that to confirm.
Yeah.
If they're okay with it, then we can talk.
Just so you
right.
guys know, we did get a flyer that Wilkinson is not doing the porta potties. It is Reds.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, but
I
he
didn't
sold it
pass
to
that. I don't know if I passed that on to you guys. That was
Yeah.
part of one of our correspondences.
David, real quick, just on the ones to the island, do they just do it once a day?
That's when I see him. I see him early in the morning when I'm on my way over to the restaurant. Yeah, they usually come down Northern
I
Boulevard.
was just
do
curious
both
if they
ends.
did it more, that's all.
Yeah, I think they only do it first of the morning, early in the morning.
Okay. All right, Mark, I appreciate you. Just let us know what you find out from the health department. We'll go from there. If they're saying nothing, then we have to do porta potties, then we're gonna have to look at that as well. Which is, it stinks because we have the house that we built and now it's not being used. And I know some people have made some comments and just want to make sure it's being done.
Hopefully it's just temporary.
Yes, I agree. All right, Jason and Michael, I think you guys are all set. Unless you want to hang around, that's your call, but you guys are all set in your applications for the fall and the summer. Anything else from you two?
So thank you guys for everything. Can you, when you reach out to Spink Soccer or even Stefano, because you guys are worried about field conditions all the way through, can you just specify, like, when you reach out to them, and obviously I have my listing of what fields we have for what times, just so there's no, like Selena mentioned, you're scheduled for a field, you use that field type of thing. Because I don't want you guys to come to me, blame me for a field use if after Saturday we never used it, but it got damaged on Sunday. That's
Okay.
all.
Yep.
But we'll be able to work together. So
That's
everything
how
will go.
that's how it works.
Yep.
We're all one
Thank you
big
very much,
team.
you guys. Hopefully,
Thanks, Jason.
the kids are out on the field, and I will keep you guys updated from ECYSA, what they're
Cool.
doing all on the fall sports for soccer. All right? Thank you,
All right.
guys. Take
Thanks,
care.
Jason.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. We're supposed to be an hour and a half, and we have 3 minutes, and we still have the spending operating plan, which right now is actually going to have to go up in the air until we find out about the bathrooms. Because if we find out we have to use the bathrooms and we can't use the porta potties, or those are more expensive, that kind of throws a curve into it. So I'm going to table the operating plan until we find out about the bathrooms. We know we're at phase 3 regarding the latest health updates in the field availability. So we have a field scheduled for the summer and for the fall.
I'm muted. You're frozen.
Me? Anybody not hear me?
No,
I
I
didn't
can,
get
I
I
can
didn't
hear.
get any of that.
Oh. So regarding the spending and operating plan, we're going to table that.
Nothing.
Can someone tell Mark what I just said? If someone else is hearing me?
Mark, you're freezing up.
I was like, I'm seeing everybody moving. So that's why I was like, I don't know how I'm freezing.
So what was said?
Someone tell Mark. See if someone else works.
No, Mark, he's just talking about the budget. Is it the budget?
Spending and
plan.
operating
Spending
plan.
plan, and that if it all depends on the bathrooms.
Yeah, okay.
So we're going to table it for now.
We already know about the field applications. Those have all been approved. The latest health update, we know we're at phase 3. We will not get to phase 4, according to the governor, until there's a cure or some kind of vaccination or whatever. So God only knows when that's going to actually happen, unless they change their mind. I'm also going to table the Kent Way because, again, we need to find out if we're going to spend any money on it. We need to know what we have for our budget before we can start doing those things. And then the budget and purchases available under the new business, we're going to have to oh, I apologize. One thing. I was supposed to bring this up under the field application is the yoga. The yoga ones, they're looking for 2 to 3 days a week for 1 hour. And I can get them just the summer. If they offered 5 different times, a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday. I'm going to suggest to them Wednesday and Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. and Thursday evening from 5:30 to 6:30 on field 5A. It's not being used over the summer.
sounds great.
I have
David?
a
Go ahead, Mark.
question. Is there soccer going on field 1 and 3 that they'd be walking through? 2, are we looking at a particular age population? Is it,
They haven't said anything yet. It sounds like it's an older group.
okay, would it make better sense to put them in the area on the opposite side of the parking lot where people line up to go sledding? Because they don't need a field per se. They just need space, correct?
That's correct.
That
So
sounds great.
there's space right there that can be utilized. They don't have to interact with any of the families that are already there.
So you're talking about going out behind the shed, out the dirt road, so the fields are on the left. You're talking that field area on the right?
Just
No.
as you pull in to the right where the sledding hill is.
Oh, on the very first when you pull in.
Yep.
Yep, and you can
Because
park
they're
right in
they're
front.
talking 20 people.
Perfect.
20 people, there's plenty of space there.
Done. I'll let them know.
Do they need to have insurance?
Yes, they'll have a policy.
Okay,
I will make sure we have that before they can start. I have an application. You sure of it?
and this is a business entity, you said?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
It is, the name of the company is BUDDHAFUL, Souls Yoga Studio. Beautiful Souls Yoga Studio.
I've heard of them.
okay.
And I will send you the entire, I don't know if I said it at the beginning or not. They were like, I would probably choose to do 2 or 3 a week. I added a bunch of times to ensure flexibility with the town schedule. They're leaving it up to us, so we can tell them these are what we're looking at, and they can have the field up to the side.
They can do it anytime because yeah, it's open all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, if we give them the time, because then it's like, here are your 3 hours a week, 3 one-hour slots. It's $15, so it's $45 every week, depending on how long you want to do it from A to B. And I'll
So-
tell them they can start next week if this all is okay. Yes, Celine.
Just so you know, I have an 8 o'clock appointment.
We'll be getting off very shortly because I've got
Okay.
dinner waiting behind me. So I have a motion to accept Buddha, I hate to say it, it sounds terrible, Buddha Full Souls Yoga Studio for 3 hours a week, starting next week for the summer. So that would run through the last week of the summer. Actually, yeah, because I don't think, no, it's gonna go through the 21st. Because all the leagues start, well, actually they could because I'm not gonna be on a field. I can tell them they can go to the 28th of August.
Second?
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. And then we'll reevaluate. Do I hear any discussion other than what I've said? All those in favor? Celine?
Aye.
David Brohl?
Aye.
David Dempsey?
Aye.
Mark Sand?
Aye.
I will notify them as well after this meeting. They're both expecting emails. Everything else, we're going to table to the next meeting. So the next question is, when do you want to meet next? Looking at the town calendar. I don't know who's traveling or taking vacation time or what. I mean, the first Monday of the month would be the 3rd, which is in 2 weeks, or we can go to the 10th.
I'd rather go the 10th. I have kids moving out of the house.
10th.
Really? Let's talk about that offline. I am actually on vacation the following week, so that's what I mean. I was doing it beforehand.
Which week?
I'm on vacation the 17th.
All right.
So the 10th works for me. David, Mark?
Sure.
Yeah, the 10th's fine for me. Yep.
5:30 or 6? Want to do 6?
6 again.
Yep.
I can't get off any earlier than that because I got crazy stuff to go in the background right now. So 6 to 7:30 on the 10th is what I'm going to book right now on the calendar.
All right, sounds good.
We're going to talk about the normal stuff. So we're going to do the basketball court. I'll try to get an update on the online calendar. I'm going to put the spending, the Kent Way, and the budget pending what we get back on the health thing from Mark on the bathrooms. Hopefully we'll have an idea then. And then the field applications I'm going to remove, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Awesome.
If anybody else they want to add, please get to me by the 3rd, the 4th, the latest, because I want to make sure I get this up. I'm actually going to put up what I just said, and if I have to make any adjustments, we'll make the changes there.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Everybody okay?
Yep.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Oh, go ahead,
Mike,
Mark.
one quick thing. At the last meeting, you asked me to do the calendar stuff. And I saw that you did it as well.
What calendar stuff?
You were going to look into the calendar stuff with Susan as far as something more permanent. Mike is doing the Band-Aid work with just the,
I misunderstood because it sounded like it was to relieve you of all the work, which I know that you're swamped right now, Celine, that I was to do that. And that's,
well, there's 2 parts to it. There's the permanent online calendar thing that I was working with Susan. And then there's the background stuff, which Mike is working on, which is the regular manual job. So to me, that's 2 different tasks. And I thought you
The
were
time being.
splitting that. Yeah. So Mike,
all right.
so if you can work with Susan on getting a more permanent online system that our users can just register online and reserve times, and that was kind of the whole end goal. But
So I'm the past, you're the future, Mark. It's the truth.
All
I'm
right.
dealing with the paper stuff. You're gonna deal with the electronic
who's
stuff.
the present? I don't know. Should we do that the other way around? Just teasing you, Mark. I was supposed to.
Anything else? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Seconded?
Second,
Any discussion?
nope.
I declare meeting adjourned at 7:37 PM. And we'll pick up on August 10th at 6 PM.
Sounds
All right,
good.
so